Flash and Arrow just got new trailers. I wasn't going to talk about um, Arrow's trailer as meaty as it was until we got more of something for the Flash. Because we got that 11-second trailer, but that wasn't doing it for me. I was not going to make a whole video around that. I just wasn't. So I waited to do the Arrow trailer. So we got something meatier on the Flash and Supergirl. The Supergirl trailer came out. Kind of disappointing. It was fine, I guess. It was just kind of bland, in my opinion. And I'm a fan of this show, by the way. I'm not hating. I'm just saying the trailer wasn't that great. The only season I don't like of Supergirl is 1. 2 was great. 3 was okay. 4, just downright amazing at the end, but at the beginning I was just like, but the power has gone out. What a coincidence. I didn't mean a coincidence, but the power didn't go out. The nurse tried to lock me out here. It wasn't exactly like that. She thought the door was already locked, so she went and turned out the light because she didn't think anyone was out here. So that's my bad. But I'm just over here like, this is weird. I don't know what the word was I was looking for, but it wasn't coincidence, let me tell you. Yeah. Anyways, we didn't get anything meaty for Supergirl, which is really the disappointing part. The Flash, even though it's basically just an extended version of that 11-second trailer, it was still meaty enough that I wanted to do a video on it. And I didn't talk about that first trailer, so. Anyways, I'm not going to talk about Supergirl because it's the same thing as what we got earlier. It's not worth talking about, really. They really just, with Supergirl, I'm still talking about it even though I'm saying it's not worth talking about. I don't know what I'm doing, but I can't stop it. But it is inevitable. The Supergirl trailer was basically just the meaty part of the last trailer, I think, in my opinion. I'll go watch it again in a minute, but if I remember correctly, I didn't bother. I will make an update video, even though it's probably not worth it if I'm wrong. I'll go watch it again as soon as I'm done filming this. But if I remember correctly, it was just the meat. They took the meat off of the other trailer and put it in here as like a direct feed. So it's not really anything worth talking about. So I didn't even watch it a second time. Not a second time, but I watched the other 2 trailers the moment here. And I don't think I talked about the Bat. Oh no, I'm saving that for Legends trailer. But no, I guess I'm just gonna have to talk about the Batwoman trailer. So there's not really much to talk about. It's Batwoman. What I can imagine is it's set before Elseworlds. So you have, because she doesn't have the suit. There were some people saying that it's got a feminist agenda behind it. I'm like, maybe, but none of that really showed through in the, there could be a slight SJW situation. It's hard to tell with what SJWs typically do. This could literally, I would have put this stuff in the trailer. I'm not an SJW. I believe in equal rights and cyberbullying being bad. But as far as I'd go, feminists aren't even after equal rights. They're trying to put women up on a pedestal, which is not equal rights. That's, gotta be honest, they're just making more problems worse. They were great in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, early 2000s. Here in 2016, no, not doing it. They don't serve a purpose. They're just defeating their purpose. They're beating it into the ground thinking they're making things better. But anyways, they've already buried the definition of feminism like a long time ago. Anyways, Batwoman trailer has some great music put over it, but I doubt that music is going to be put into the actual show. This happens. There's not really anywhere to put the music. It's strictly for the trailer. It is kind of annoying, though, because the song they used in the trailer was really good. I can't figure out what it is. I kind of want to listen to it, see if it's actually good by itself, or if it's just good in the moment. Whatever. But, Okay, actually, now that I think about it, the music does have a slight feminist thing. But other than the music, seriously, which is really good on its own, you just gotta kind of ignore the message that's trying to beat into your skull. But aside from the um, aside from the music, there's this one scene that people point to where it's like, the suit is literal perfection. It will be when it fits a woman, and I'm just like, I can see how that could be misconstrued. But honestly, how is she expected to fit into Batman's suit? She's got little things on her chest and a different build that aren't going to make it easy to get into the suit. So yeah, the suit is perfection to him because it's his suit. There's no way they can improve on it. But how is she going to use it if she can't slide into it? Think about that. That's all she's trying to say. I mean, it seems simple to me. But people are like, oh, like John Campea. I don't know if he talked about it since then. But when the Batwoman trailer came out, he was talking about it, and he was like, "Well, man, what was the term he was using? He was like, well, okay, so they're kind of saying women are better than men or whatever," and he's like, "We'll just say man beating is what it was," and he's like, "Well, I hope you're not actually saying that it's man beating just because you have a fragile ego or something like that." And yeah, basically, I think most of these people have a fragile ego, or they are misconstruing something. If they have that, if that is the intention, that if what I just said is their intention, and people are misunderstanding their intention, then they're misconstruing it. If they understand that this is harmless, and they're still complaining about it, then what are you doing? You're just complaining because you don't like a woman getting the spotlight. But anyways, what I really wanted to talk about, since I got that out of the way, I guess I really didn't talk about the plot, but there's not much plot to talk about. You see a little bit of her doing army stuff. You see a little bit of her talking to her dad, who in the comics is kind of a dick. And since we're talking about feminism, I'm not trying to make a pun or anything. He's an asshole. Watch Batman Bad Blood, for instance. That movie's great. It's on DC Universe, I think. Which, by the way, I finally signed up for that. That stuff's cool. So, I guess that's the only time I'm really going to be able to mention it. My ArrowVerse reviews are going to be pushed to the side a little bit because I got this, and I don't know how much longer I'm actually going to be able to afford it. So I'm kind of pushing that to the side, but I'm still working on all that stuff. But really, I want to highlight the stuff that's not on Netflix and that's on here. So we're doing that for now. I've watched 4 episodes of Titans, 1 episode of Batman the Animated Series, Death of Superman. I actually own Reign of the Superman. So I believe I reviewed that, and then I'm gonna watch Birds of Prey because that looks cool. I watched a little bit of it on the CWC app, but the app is terrible, so I just stopped. I was done with it. They have Constantine. I don't know about the actual show, but the movie with Keanu Reeves is on there. I remember thinking that movie was pretty good, especially the ending. Ta-da! But where he just basically flips off Satan. I thought that was art. So yeah, I'm gonna do reviews on all of that stuff, but it's really hot out here, but this is the only silent room I have. So I'm gonna try to rush through this video a little bit. The Arrow trailer shows a lot of stuff. Oliver actually says history is repeating itself. And it actually looks to me like they're recreating a lot of the shots. At first I thought, time travel. But that's not the case because even though I've been telling that to my family, it's like, oh, it's time travel, because see all this stuff happening the same way it used to. I was reaching a little bit, admittedly, because I was also saying, well, their haircuts haven't changed. but or their haircuts are different, but they're recreating these shots. I guess it's time travel. No, I was just an idiot. I don't know if I ever actually said anything about that on the videos, so I want to correct myself here. But it's definitely multiverse, because Tommy's has the beard, and I was reaching a little bit. But it seems they're rebuilding a lot of shots. We see Oliver fighting the Dark Archer from the finale. I think it was the finale. It was the final confrontation between him and the Dark Archer, but I don't know if that was in the finale. You know what? Now, the more that I say that, the stupider it sounds. So, yeah, the finale. I was thinking like they did maybe Castlevania, where the final fight is in season 2, episode. It's the final fight is not even in the finale. The finale is just purely set up, you know. But Arrow, the trailer, it shows him waking up in Hong Kong, which is a shot from season 2's ending and season 3's beginning. So we see him fighting the Dark Archer from season 1's ending. Well, not the ending, but the finale. Except it seems to be Tommy is the Dark Archer. So that's interesting to me. He's giving Oliver a dirty look, so he knows something's not right. We also see them in the club from season 1. Not Oliver's Club Verdant from season 1, but the pilot had him go to a club and then try to kill Adam Hunt. I think that was the pilot. And we also see the ending shot, which is the second shot we see in the pilot. Which, with him getting out of the hospital after Moira saw his scars. And, you want to know how I got these scars? But then he says, "Hello, Mom," which I believe is the same thing he said to Moira on Earth 1. So, yeah, they said this is going to be Arrow's greatest hits. The only thing I'm concerned about is because this looks like it's going to be great. But I really want Deathstroke to return one final time. We know there's going to be a new Deathstroke, but I don't give a... Try to keep this PG, like very PG. But I don't care that John Dickel Jr. is going to be the new Deathstroke. Yep. I know you're surprised, but yep. But anyways, I don't care. Don't care at all. I want Slade back. Slade, the OG, the awesome one. He doesn't have to be Deathstroke. I don't want him to be Deathstroke. I want him to be in the suit. I want him to wear the mask, but I don't want him to be called Deathstroke, because if he has to wear the armor, sure, he definitely should wear the mask. It's awesome. But it would be a step down from what Arrow season 7 or season 5, the ending of that basically marked the end of Deathstroke and the rise of Slade. It was a great little character moment that we would mostly see in season 6, where he's no longer Deathstroke. He's on Oliver's side. He's the good guy now. He's no longer the man who rained down a siege on Starling City. He's no longer the guy who tried to kill Cisco and Caitlin. And yeah, that happened. I always forget that it happened, but it happened. Deathstroke got shot with a light gun by Dr. Light, which is the only time he's mentioned or referenced in the entire Arrowverse. There is a Dr. Light that shows up, but different. That's not the same thing. Anyways, yeah. Deathstroke, I want to see Slade come back. I want him in the Crisis as well. But what makes me think that they're not going to do that is because Katana is returning in episode 2 of season 8, titled Welcome to Hong Kong. The reason this worries me, because Stephen Amell, I was going to say Oliver Queen, but Stephen Amell said that it's going to be episode 1 is going to be a tribute to season 1, and episode 3 is going to be a tribute to the Hong Kong portion. Episode 2, is going to be a tribute to the Hong Kong portion of season 3. And then episode 3 is going to be a different part of season 3. So probably the Ra's al Ghul stuff. But you could have had it gone 1, 2, 3. But you skipped over 2 and have 2 episodes for season 3. Is it just a coincidence that's Deathstroke's season? Or am I reaching too far? Like, are we going to get a season 2 tribute? Because season 3 and season 4, my reviews for those have not been done yet, but let me give you a sneak peek. Those aren't really seasons that are that great. Certainly better than Legends season 4. You could have all of the shitty episodes of the entire Arrowverse put into, aside from Legends, put into a season, 24 episodes or less, and that would still be better than Legends season 4. But that's not my point. And my point is, those weren't good seasons, and you skipped over season 2. Like, I know you don't want the whole season to be tributes and stuff, and you only have 10 episodes and whatever, but you gave season 3 2 episodes. Why did you do that? Can you still use Deathstroke? Because I know they said it's off limits, but like, come on, man. Because I know he's going to be on Titan season 2. So if they're doing that whole restricted character thing again, I don't know, man. But it sucks that we might not get Deathstroke in this crossover. He has never been in a crossover. The suit of armor that represents Deathstroke was in the Invasion crossover, but Manu Bennett was not, and neither was Slade. It was just the armor, as far as I'm concerned. And at that, he wasn't even... Yeah, around this time frame in the actual show, he was a bad guy, but there was no personality given to him. It was just kind of the monster that he was that was shown. And on top of that, it was in the Arrow's 100th episode portion, which was self-contained. On top of that, it was a hallucination, and no one else even got to see Deathstroke. It was just Oliver. And other characters introduced on Arrow, like Ray Palmer, Sarah Lance, and Thea. But other than that, it was just Oliver. And Oliver was the only one who had any connection to Slade, so it's not a crossover. That was an Arrow episode tied into the crossover, weaved in there. The weirdest Arrow episode ever, but you know, it's really hot in here. But I've ranted too much about this when the point of the trailer video escaped me. So let's just move on. The episode, or the Flash trailer, it's pretty meaty. When I was going over the first Flash trailer, which I did a few times, I always assumed that it would be Oliver who was on the newspaper. That's why Barry suddenly cares about the crisis, or suddenly cares about someone vanishing, because you see that he's concerned, and it seems like Iris is trying to comfort him since the date is made closer. But I always assumed that Barry was a bit more selfless, and that's why he wasn't concerned about it. He's like, whatever happens to me happens. And maybe part of it is selflessness, because now he can't ever have another version of Nora. But, and if I were in the Flash's position, yeah, I'd have been distraught. But from day one, the moment I found out that I was going to vanish during this crisis, I would have done whatever I could. Day one, the moment I found out, to stop this from happening. I wouldn't just be concerned because the date has shrunk. Believe me, I was distraught. We're not actually going to bring that up, never mind. But the, I don't want to make this video depressing. So I don't know why Barry hasn't been concerned about this. That's the only reason I was guessing otherwise. I thought Oliver would be there because, but maybe it'll be like that Simpsons thing, you know, where it's like die and diet, where Homer's like, oh no, and then he freaks out when it says diet, Maybe it'll be like that. Maybe Barry's distraught now, but it'll be even worse when Oliver is the one disappearing, you know? I think that's what's gonna happen. And just because he's going to die and he's scared about it doesn't mean that he's selfish. Any person would be, and I would probably react worse than Barry is currently reacting if I got that news. Of course, and I don't think I'm that selfish of a person. Of course, the selfish one never thinks he's the selfish one, so But and so I don't really know what's going on. It's hard to tell. But Cisco was like, "We're gonna stop you from vanishing, buddy," and Iris is there like, "What do you want to do?" Almost as like a bucket list thing. I don't know. It's not a bucket list, but that's what I'm saying. It's almost like. So, I don't know. I can understand the people around him being scared, and I figured he would be the one acting tough to sort of comfort everyone. But we see him crying. This is sort of related, but mostly not. Saying, "I've seen thousands or billions or trillions or whatever of futures, and even more deaths or whatever." We hear him saying that at the beginning of the 11-second trailer, and I think the beginning of this one. And yeah, during the crisis. I think the Monitor is the one giving him the visions, though. Because Nora, or his mother, putting a helmet on him that makes him see into the future doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Clearly that's what's being shown, but I think it's like in Doctor Strange, where he started seeing all of this weird stuff until he saw what he was supposed to see. You know? Like, I don't think he was seeing the future, but he went on a trip when the Ancient One punched his soul out of his body. So I think it's going to be like that. You see all this weird stuff before you see what you need to see. That's a prediction right there. So I think the Monitor is the one doing all of that. It has nothing to do with Nora. It has nothing to do with the jumper cables. It has nothing to do with the hat. It's the Monitor. That's a prediction right there. In fact, they could possibly pull an endgame, and that scene isn't even in the show. That last one, I'm not so confident in, though. I'm getting hot, and I feel like I'm going to throw up a little bit, so we're going to end it here. Yeah. I'm expecting the light to go out any minute. Yeah, anyways, bye.